Good afternoon. This is Friday, January 24th, 2025, episode 21 of the ADHD Fantasy Sport Podcast. Today I went to the casino after donating some plasma, and I put in a 10-team parlay at the sports book today. Just for funsies. I like to do this little $10 every weekend. Just it's cute. I like to see how correct I am, and more times than not I'm correct, but I still have only won once in the 50 times that I've gone and done this, which shows how truly hard it is to make more than 5 picks in a row. So for this, I have taken the in NBA tonight. The New Orleans Pelicans play at the Memphis Grizzlies. This was my lock of the night. They are minus 600 in favor of winning, which means you need to wager $600 before you can win $100. And New Orleans sucks. Memphis is good, and I wasn't going to go and try and guess the spread on that crap. That was going to be way too hard because it's just dumb as hell. So, Memphis is most likely going to win. They won the last 2 matches. It wouldn't be unheard of if New Orleans won this one. It's extremely unlikely that New Orleans will win this. Although, looking at this, the one thing I didn't do, this is the only game that I didn't look at the recent games on. New Orleans have won 4 in a row. And the only one that they didn't win in the last 5 games is the game against Milwaukee 2 days ago. That got snowed out. So that got snowed out in New Orleans of all places. Great, fantastic weather we're having. But Memphis is playing at home. New Orleans is playing on the road and playing over their head right now. I think the Grizz will win. I just don't want to take a bet on what the line is. Then I have the Cavaliers and 76ers game. This is being played in Philly, and Philly is having a terrible year right now. Holy guacamole, they're having a terrible year right now. 15-27. You shouldn't ever be below 500 when you have Joel Embiid on your team. But what do I know? I mean, maybe Embiid's going to be out for the game tonight. Maybe he's not. I didn't pay attention. I think the Sixers will keep it within 10.5 points. I don't necessarily think they will win. In fact, it would be foolhardy for me to say that they are going to win. But hard to take a home team by more than to say that a team is going to be out. It's hard for me to pick against the home team by more than 10 points, even in basketball. It will happen, but that's like saying you want to take the road team in a football game by more than a touchdown. It's just really hard and dumb for me to do so. So I took the 76ers plus 10.5 points. Joel Embiid's going to be out tonight. They got a bunch of no-names on this team. I mean, Paul George is technically there, but, I mean, Paul George going to play tonight? Paul George is technically healthy tonight. But we'll see what happens. He only played 28 minutes and 16 seconds last game. Next on the list is the Blazers and the Hornets. That's Portland Blazers and the Charlotte Hornets. Both are having terrible years. Charlotte has nobody going on for them. Portland has almost nobody going on for them. I took the Hornets at home, minus 225, because I'm dumb and I don't know how to pick NBA. I took 3 NBA games and absolutely shouldn't have taken any of those 3. But it's Charlotte's got to win at home. They've won 3 out of their last 4. I like that. Portland has won their last 3 in a row. So do I take Portland on the road to win a 3rd road game because they're a bad team? Do I take Charlotte to win one at home, which would be nice to win back-to-back home games for once? I absolutely think that the Hornets will win the game, but I didn't want to take any spread because I think that's whole baloney. The 76ers I took before I forgot that Embiid was going to be out. So I might have screwed myself on that one. So we'll see how that turns out. In hockey, I've got the Utah Hockey Club playing at the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets are a great team. Utah is scrappy. I've got Winnipeg winning this straight up. I don't see any way around this. Utah will make this close, but I didn't want to take the plus 1.5 for Utah because I think there's a good chance that the Jets win by 2 tonight. I don't know who the starting goalie is. I mean, in theory, it could be Connor Hellebuck, but we'll see what happens there. I've got the... Whoops. Got to reopen that tab. I've got Vegas and Dallas playing tonight in Dallas. I'm doing the very hard thing. I'm taking Knights plus 1.5 on the road. That is not something I should do because Dallas is a good team, but Vegas is quite possibly a better team. So I don't think maybe that the Knights will win, but they will keep it within a one goal game. So I could see Dallas 4-3 winning this. So that should be fun. Or 3-2, that should be fun. That's minus 225 on that pick. The Phillies, the Flyers, and the Islanders, Philadelphia and New York. I've got the Flyers plus 1.5. The Islanders are a defense-first team. Philly is a defense-first team. I absolutely should have taken the under on the total goals instead of the stupid line. I'm dumb. But we'll see what happens. Philly won in New York last time by 2 goals. So we'll see if the Islanders can come back and win by at least a goal. So we'll see what happens there. Minus 190 on that pick. Next, I've got Tampa Bay and Chicago. Chicago at home. When you've got plus goals at home, I will take them almost every time. Chicago sucks, but they're at home. Tampa Bay's amazing. One of the better teams in the league. 4th in the Atlantic. They've lost back-to-back games. They're not going to lose 3 in a row. I should have looked at this more closely. I don't think Tampa's going to win by 2. I think a 1-goal game on the road, entirely possible. Still, minus 125. Now I'm going to go and look at college basketball. There's St. Bonaventure and VCU. VCU is supposed to be the better team because they can out-rebound their opponent by 3.8 rebounds per game. But St. Bonaventure is really close on all their other games. And then I guess St. Bonnie just doesn't score nearly as much as VCU, Virginia Commonwealth. They've got a 12.5 point line. And with your Atlantic 10 games, 12.5 points with 2 decent teams should not happen. I took St. Bonaventure plus 12.5 because that seems like an easy score. Next game is Chicago State at Stonehill. Chicago State sucked. They sucked before they were in the WAC with New Mexico State. They suck in whatever independent conference they're in now. And they're playing Stonehill. Both teams are bad. But I've got Stonehill by 9.5 points because Chicago State's not going to be able to score almost anything. They barely score at all. Stonehill can score. Stonehill's at home. Give me Stonehill by 10 points. Lastly, I've got Villanova at Marquette. Quite possibly my second dumbest pick of the night. Villanova is a 9.5 point underdog on the road at 10th ranked Marquette. Villanova can shoot the ball better, both from a free throw and field goal percentage, and from a three-point percentage. They also have scored more points than Marquette has this year, although they have played one more game at 20 games versus 19 games. All of your Big East games are extremely close, very tight affairs, unless you have a legit legendary team. Yes, it is entirely possible Marquette wins by 10 at home. But they lost at home to Xavier by 2 points last time. They beat Georgetown only by 8, and they beat Crichton only by 8. I don't think that Nova will be that bad. Yes, Nova lost to Georgetown by 1 at home, and they lost on the road to Xavier by 6, and on the road at St. John's by 12. But I think that they can keep this tight, less than 9.5. Like I said before, that 76ers game is definitely the one I should not have taken. But I will go get this done up and either put out another podcast tonight or tomorrow morning when I have the updated standings. And we will see how well my sports picks did. I had a 10-game parlay last week for $450. I lost because Tyler Hero hit only 2 3-point shots instead of 4 3-point shots. That's the only pick out of 10 that I missed to make $450. All right, thank you very much, and you all have a good night.